Welcome back to the Great Primeval Show. I am the Archminister, and I'm joined by Ancient Realms and Hodgepodge. Today we'll be breaking down Episode 8 of Primeval Series 3, also known as Oh Brother in North America,
Die Welt von morgen
in Germany, and
Esprit de famille
in France. Written by Cameron McAllister and directed by Richard Curson Smith.
We see a Lotus racetrack with Danny and the team arriving shortly after. Danny, what is that waistcoat? Did he raid Connor's wardrobe? Abby also looks to be dressed especially casually.
Well, I hate sitting in the back. Who keeps count?
Connor does.
So the ARC team calls shotgun, apparently. Also, surely the back middle seat is the worst place for Becca to sit in case of emergencies. Upon entering the warehouse, none of the characters notice the obvious anomaly, clearly in view, until the plot requires it. Abby steps in some sticky goo, which she somehow missed, despite also being clearly in view. Note how relaxed Abby is about sniffing this goo, compared to when the plot required her to be concerned in episode 5.
Is it fungal?
Whoa.
I sure hope that wasn't the coin Sarah got from Sir William in the last episode. How did no one see that before? We get to see creature vision for this thing, which shows a hexagonal pattern with a fisheye lens and a purple filter. This effect is likely representing the compound eyes seen in arthropods like insects, composed of many ommatidia. A very similar effect was used in Walking with Monsters to showcase the vision of the Anomalocaris.
They may look bizarre, but they're not unique.
Danny has strong plot armor as he is able to run out of the truck before the big bug does anything, and he is forced outside by Bugsy. A cool detail is how the bug prizes the doors apart to get at Danny. However, this is all in vain as... So I guess the bug just got obliterated by the car, and if Danny hadn't moved, he would have been run over as well. Instead, he only got covered in its gooey innards.
Nice.
This shot of the car approaching Danny was composited with green screen and not a real stunt. This is one of the only pre-title scenes to immediately start the episode with the main characters diving straight into the plot, and not having any cold open like most other episodes. This is likely as they required more time in the actual episode to focus on the plot and story. This warehouse was filmed at Longcross Film Studios, like the ARC, and the racetrack was filmed at the Lotus Test Track in Norwich.
Whilst never named within the show, this giant insect was dubbed the Megopteron in production. This creature is truly unique, as not only is it a speculated future creature, but it is the only creature to be designed by a fan of the show. In early 2008, ITV opened submissions for the Create Your Own Creature competition, where the winning creature would appear in an episode in Series 3. This episode was specifically written with enough wiggle room to be able to insert the winning creature into the story. Of the 5,000 plus submissions, the ultimate winner was then 16-year-old artist Karim Nahabu. The process of adapting a drawing to a computer-generated creature in the show was detailed in the behind-the-scenes featurette Genesis of a Creature on the Series 3 DVD. Interestingly, when designing the Megopteron, Karim came up with an origin that is different to that of the final episode. Originally conceived as a descendant of tiger beetles, it possessed mantis-like forelegs, a stinger, wings, and its legs were in a mammalian forward-facing position and stood 6 feet tall. It was described as living in jungles, preying on birds and insects, primarily running after prey and capable of limited flight. When Impossible Pictures and the show's creature designer Darren Hawley were adapting the Megopteron drawing to the model used in the show, they made it a giant form of ant and/or wasp, which formed the insect order Hymenoptera. Features that remain the same were the head and neck and the legs. We'll just go over the Megopteron CGI model description for all the changes. The Megopteron visually appears like a cross between an ant and a praying mantis. The standard adult size range from 5 to 7 feet tall depending on the individual. However, we do see a 2-foot tall specimen and a 14-foot specimen, both briefly seen near the end of the episode. It has large mantis-like forelimbs, likely evolved through convergent evolution. The second and third pairs of legs were splayed sideways in a more ant-like position. The feet, or tarsi, end with 2 prongs, like ants. Like mantises, their eyes are proportionally huge, which may explain why they lack antennae, as they don't need them. Again, like mantises, they have 2 pairs of wings, with the first pair folding over the second to protect them. This is also seen in beetle wing cases. The thorax and abdomen appear to be fused. Its exoskeleton was very strong, as Megopterons seem unaffected by bullets, but they could be injured by blunt force like a high-speed car.
The stinger has evolved into an ovipositor.
The stinger was reimagined as an ovipositor, a long probing structure found on the abdomen of many modern parasitic wasps for laying their eggs in plant or animal hosts.
Human beings would do very nicely.
The body and legs are sparsely covered in hair-like setae, like many insects. The colour scheme also looks quite similar to some species of tiger beetle. Similar to the Silurian scorpions from Series 2, these are substantially bigger than any known arthropods. Modern ants are eusocial, forming huge colonies with different castes like workers, soldiers with enlarged biting heads, and queens with wings. Whilst we later see groups of Megopterans, it's not clear if they're eusocial, as they all look to have the same model and have wings.
That thing has wings!
We don't know if they share the food they catch, or if they just congregate together rather than forming a hunting swarm like some wasps. Faithful to Karim's description, they primarily hunted by running after their prey despite having wings. We see Megopterans using their ovipositors on a human, with the eggs incubating inside. They appear to hatch very fast, as it was under 12 hours between impregnation and hatching.
This thing's life cycle is unbelievably accelerated.
Likely in their future time period, they would use future predators as their egg hosts. There is also a type of maggot dubbed the future maggot, which appears later in this episode, and may be a life stage of the Megopteran, since in Genesis of a Creature, Tim Haynes states to Karim that
it has a maggot.
However, earlier in the episode, we see that young Megopterans are just shrunken versions of the adult model. The maggot could be explained as a pupating stage in between hatchling and adult. Describing the maggot, it appears to use the Precambrian worm model from Series 2, Episode 2, but with the spines removed. As it's only seen in the dark, the colour is hard to make out, but it appears to be semi-translucent pinkish white. It was never stated whether the Megopterans were created by humanity like the future predators, or if they evolved naturally. However, the future city's intact state would suggest that the Megopteran's home time was only a few centuries in the future, supporting the former origin. Alternatively, some fans have suggested the Megopteran evolved much later in the timeline and had migrated back to the future city via an anomaly. Similar to the future Predator in Series 1, its reveal was saved for its debut episode, despite seeing glimpses of its future home earlier in Series 3. All in all, the Megopteran is an amazing creature and feat that a fan got to create this new addition to Primeval's menagerie of future creatures.
Abby and a couple of the Special Forces are picking up what's left of the Megopteran. This is one of the only Series 3 creatures to get a practical effect. However, not done by Crawley creatures like in Series 1 and 2, but made by production designer Michael Ralph, which whilst cool doesn't quite match the CGI model.
That doesn't look right.
You can also see the racing driver in the background looking fittingly befuddled.
I don't like insects.
Sarah has entomophobia and shies away from bug bites.
Nothing like it in the fossil records.
Look, hold on. What makes you so certain that it's not some lost species that's just disappeared from the evolutionary record?
Take note, Series 5. We'll get to that eventually though. Sarah manages to lock the anomaly, which Connor takes issue with. I get that he's the comic relief character, but does his brilliant work have to be undermined like this?
Terrified of being trapped in a shopping centre with brain-eating zombies.
Missed opportunity to say,
The raptor in a shopping centre!
The team just leave without searching the area. Of course another Megopteran is in the warehouse, unbeknownst to them. I guess the Special Forces guards must have arrived later.
Sorry I'm late. Caught every red light.
Whilst rifling through her stuff, Jack finds Abby's anomaly detector, which Abby quickly brushes off as nothing more than a sat-nav.
I believe you can get them dashboard size nowadays.
So you can get from the penguins to the puffins without getting lost.
Wouldn't they be in the same area of the zoo anyway? This sets up the departure of Jack for this series. Meanwhile, we see Lester's apartment for the first time. The establishing shot is somewhere in London, whereas the interior looks to be a set or someone's actual apartment. Lester has a DVD called Bluff Your Way in Mandarin Chinese. This is quite funny since he's apparently already fluent in French, as seen in the novel The Lost Island.
Can I be you +1?
We are not flatmates.
Lester continues to profoundly regret letting Connor move in.
Have you seen my invitation?
Connor finds said invitation, which has been given a cheeky nibble. The invitation says Mr. James Lester, since in this timeline he isn't Sir James Lester, like in Series 1. I'm also surprised only Lester was invited to this, and not the Minister or Christine.
Well, he didn't say anything to me about it.
Also note in the close-up, the invitation only has one ripped off piece. However, in the wide shot it has 3 ripped parts.
Can't find my jacket now. What's that noise?
What noise?
Connor does his best to hide the truth as Nancy hides off camera with Lester's jacket. Did Lester not realise the Diectodon were in his apartment? It's been at very minimum 2 weeks since Connor's moved in. Also, his jacket is absolutely shredded. Note the Diectodon is off screen when pulling Lester with the jacket, so it's likely a crew member and also saving on CGI budget. Despite this, the Diectodon continued to live in Lester's apartment until the next episode. Back at the racetrack warehouse, later that night, based on the day for night shot, 2 Special Forces soldiers hear a disturbance.
I sense it too.
Also note that the Lotus that splattered the bug at the beginning of the episode is now completely clean. The pair find a secretion similar to what Abby stepped in earlier.
I'd better report this.
The stowaway Megopteron reveals itself and has the strength to pull this guy clean off the ground. The other guy also dies shortly after as we see creature vision again. Again, this reinforces the fact that the Special Forces soldiers are the red shirts of Primeval, meaning their purpose is almost exclusively to give the writers someone to kill who isn't the main character.
Further proving Xbox's Primeval's console of choice, Jack is seen playing on what looks to be Dynasty Warriors on what I assume is Connor's Xbox 360. Jack is still under the impression that Abby still works at Wellington Zoo.
I don't know what the usual is, you never talk about it.
To be fair to Jack, he does seem genuinely interested in Abby's life, and it's her that keeps shutting him out.
Later, yeah?
Jack's snooping and tracking her could have been avoided if Abby wasn't so standoffish. Abby's anomaly detector picks up the racetrack anomaly, awfully convenient for the plot to happen. Rex apparently realises something is up and comes to investigate. I wonder if Jack ever apologised to Rex for gambling him away in episodes 6 and 7.
This is a conspiracy, isn't it?
Oh, there is no conspiracy.
Tell me what she's up to or I'll take it.
Tell me what you know.
Later, Jack arrives at the racetrack after following the detector. After being told to shove off, we see some TV trickery as Jack seemingly teleports from the gate to down the road. Presumably a stunt double was used for this. This gate entrance was filmed at Longcross Studios as well. At the Ark, Connor has devised a calibrated laser refractor to try and reactivate the artifact, to replicate what happened in episode 6. This, however, doesn't seem to work, or at least didn't find the right spot before the next episode.
Is that it?
That's it.
It's actually quite boring.
Oh, come on, Danny. This is perhaps the most important thing being researched in the Ark right now, and you're brushing it off? Do you know anything? If Cutter was still around, he would have been fascinated by this. We still miss you, Professor.
This matters. Don't know why, but it does.
Yet another example of Connor's amazing work being immediately ridiculed.
Wonder what Abby's up to.
Being this dismissive kind of feels wrong for the main character. With everyone seemingly bored by the artifact, the team gather round yet another table in the ops room as Abby analyses the remains of the Megopteron. There are some funny visual gags here with Abby holding the anatomy diagram up to her face, and Danny making weird faces in the magnifier, reasons unknown.
You're making weird faces again.
The stinger has evolved into an ovipositor.
Well, that's a relief, isn't it?
Danny not being from a scientific background is quite obvious here, especially when being surrounded by all these scientists.
It uses it to lay eggs inside a host. Human beings would do very nicely.
Oh, gooey and warm.
This is never really shown in this episode, but implied in a later scene when we see young Megopteron near the body of the Special Forces soldiers. This idea does, however, reappear in the 3rd episode of New World, Fear of Flying, with the Beatles doing a similar thing. Ugh.
That's rank.
I found very high levels of selenium in it.
The Ark continues to have the fastest lab results if Abby was able to get them back this quickly.
When I cleaned the artifact, the dirt was registering high levels of selenium as well.
The team deduced that the artifact and the Megopteron come from the same place, since both have high levels of selenium. Selenium can be found in abundance in regions with alkaline soils. These tend to be formed from rocks rich in calcium carbonate, like limestone and chalk, both of which can be found in the Greater London area. This is the best explanation we could come up with as to why there's so much of it.
Which means that the future could be just the other side of the anomaly.
This speech from Danny likely would have been given to Cutter originally, as it seems like something he would say, and be interested by. It's not clear why Danny would be interested in the future, as he has literally just shown no interest in the artifact. Perhaps because his brother Patrick went missing in a future anomaly could be why. Either way, despite this revelation, the team has already been to the future in Series 2 Episode 4, and didn't make so much of a deal about it. Though I suppose they were preoccupied with rescuing Abby there, so had little time for whimsy.
Give Becca's men a call. Tell them we're on our way.
Becca's men, who are both dead.
Jack is seemingly fascinated by this racing car, thinking he's finally found out Abby's secret.
And I even like the colour.
Connor?
Jack.
Donkey! Abby looks particularly guilty when Jack asks about her job.
Oh my god, they're dead.
If you look closely, you can see the first Special Forces body has been wrapped up in silk like a spider. And we see the result of the ovipositor as a baby mini-opteron appears. Mama Opteron attacks Jack. If you look closely, you can see the bug's forelimb gets caught in the door, so it can't get off the car.
Damage the paintwork!
In the chaos, Jack naturally runs over the anomaly locker, which causes it to unlock the anomaly somehow. It's possible the anomaly's magnetism might have had a hand in pulling the car into it. Here is another signature Series 3 quick zoom. When the Megopteron follows through the anomaly, a goof is that both its forelimbs are still attached. When Jack suddenly appears in a new location, instead of stopping like a normal person, he just keeps driving and driving. When he finally stops, we see the piece of bug that got caught in the door, again looking nothing like the actual CGI design. The surrounding area is eerily quiet as Jack looks around, but stumbling backwards.
He's dead, alright.
As the team arrive again at the racetrack and find the anomaly open, Abby is very concerned.
He stole my detector.
It's your responsibility to keep that safe. What are you doing?
Danny scolds Abby here, which feels a bit out of place. Perhaps because he's only been the team leader for just over 2 weeks, or 3 episodes at this point.
This is going to take time to fix. What happened? It's been run over by a car. There's a backup on the truck. All it needs is resetting and synchronizing.
Connor mentions having a backup locking mechanism to reset the broken one. Presumably it's software, as there is no second locking mechanism until the next series. Naturally, Abby wants to go find her brother, even if she's being reckless.
Look, this isn't some school trip. We've got to wait for backup.
If the team did that, the show would be over.
Don't step backwards.
The anomaly hangs just off the edge of a sheer drop, making it very precarious.
Very far to fall.
As the team arrive, we see Becca, Danny, Connor and Abby lined up in that order from left to right. Then suddenly in the next shot from behind, they're suddenly all reversed.
Welcome to the world of tomorrow!
This is our first proper in-depth look at this future, whilst only previously shown in flashback so far from other episodes in Series 3 and alluded to before that, though clearly a different time period to the mer creature's home time scene in Series 2 Episode 4.
Future!
The lines,
Look at these cars.
They could have been there for centuries.
Or maybe not.
are interesting as the look of everything appears to suggest that this is a long way in the Earth's future, though the buildings, cars and technology suggest that it could be more recent than we think. If you look in the background, you can see the gherkin, which has been composited in to make the area seem more like the centre of London. This version of the future is populated by 2, possibly 3 different species that we know of: future predator, Megopteron and future maggot, which could be a larval stage of the former. You also see what looks like a flock of birds in the sky in some shots, which would be the second confirmed future bird species after Unfortunately, we never get a concrete answer to what caused this, although we do get clues. The environment suggests some kind of cataclysm which has happened, giving off a post-apocalyptic feel to everything. This is also present in the far future at the start of Series 3, Episode 5. Going by later 2011 events in Series 5, this future could be caused by the New Dawn anomaly cataclysm. This would explain why all the future cities were on high eroded cliffs. However, the producers confirmed that the New Dawn future is different to the Series 3 future. Maybe the air is more corrosive and the effect of weathering on rock has been enhanced. Also, in Episode 3, Helen did suggest the future Ark had a hand in the Predator's creation, thus explaining humanity's downfall in this future. It is also possible, since the artifact was covered in selenium substance, that all the cards were also covered in the same substance, possibly being Megopteron's secretion, or simply dirt or rust. An interesting detail is that a lot of the cars have their doors open. It's unknown whether these were opened by their original owners abandoning their vehicles, the Predators
Figured out how to open doors
to shelter their young, or perhaps Johnson's anomaly we'll later see in Episode 10, pulled the doors open magnetically, similar to the junkyard cars in Episode 7. Overall, the Series 3 future is such a unique and odd choice for Primeval. Up to this point, Series 1 and 2 only ever alluded to the future, and never as high-stakes plot as seen in Series 3, and is just as quickly forgotten about in later series. Series 3? Or 4 and 5, since they chose to make the two desolate futures separate? Something to note is that all the scenes in the future have this harsh, overexposed filter and some sort of blur added. Very unusual that they actually blur the footage, makes it very hard to see anything clearly.
As the team first walk around the future, the extreme shaky cam clearly shows off the edge of the set several times, with at least 2 cast members being seen.
What on earth's happened to this place? Where is everyone? Look, concentrate on the job.
Why is Becca acting more concerned than Danny here? Isn't he supposed to be the professional? Connor makes a comment about Jack being a dum-dum.
He's not an idiot.
Well,
Abby's reaction to this is the first hint towards her outburst to Connor later. The Lotus being bright orange and conspicuously parked amongst the dusty cars makes pinpointing Jack fairly easy. Does Abby not remember what else called the future its home? Granted, she is probably worried about Jack, but shouting is not a good idea.
What's a bad idea?
We see Predator vision as the Batty Boys hone in on the noise. You also get to see that there are many more Predators around on distant buildings, all in what look like strategic positions. Becca takes a shot and ends its miserable life. As it dies though, it squeals like a pig. The actual Predator sounds are right there, guys. Series 3!
Well done. You've just alerted every predator for miles.
What was he supposed to do? If he did nothing, Abby would be dead.
well, I didn't have much choice, did I, Abigail?
Full name? Things must be getting serious then. She should have hit him back with Hillary.
What are you talking about?
Has Danny not been informed about the Predators already? He knows about Claudia Brown. Presumably there are files in the Ark about them. They're so infamous by now, surely he knows.
Why are we whispering?
Becca too? If he had read any of the reports of past incidents, he'd know why he needs to shut his gob. Note, immediately after hearing this, you can see Becca attaching a silencer to the end of his gun.
If those things got loose, humanity never stood a chance.
One day they're gonna escape, and then when they do, they're gonna kill all of us. It's the end of the human race you're looking at.
To the surprise of absolutely no one, Cutter was right. Again.
Of course I was right.
That's it. We go back. It's her brother. We stay.
Danny's saying this calls back to how he was looking for his own brother, Patrick, and so shares a connection and emotional baggage with Abby and Jack. Again, another reference to Danny's brother. Ugh.
You're supposed to make the tough decisions, Danny. I just did. And you calm down.
Danny seems overly aggressive here, though he's only trying to control the situation. Also, what's with all the close-ups?
You do know he's almost certainly dead, don't you?
Wow, Becca. Thanks for the support.
In her shoes, I'd feel exactly the same way.
Danny again indirectly mentions his brother. Why would you throw the bag instead of just walking? Seems like such a needless risk if Danny didn't catch it and made a louder noise. We see a baby future predator which uses the same model from Series 1 but looks larger and actually attacks Danny, suggesting that it's a bit older than a newborn. This attack leaves Danny with scratch marks on his neck.
It's another scar for the collection.
As the team are busy tending to Danny's fresh wounds, Abby somehow sneaks off.
Getting ourselves killed is not going to help your brother.
Now it's Becca's turn to scold Abby, though she's too hot-headed right now to listen.
Having more firepower gives a better chance of saving your brother.
Wow, okay, you changed your mind very quickly there. I guess that was before he was slashed by the young predator.
Well, back then they hadn't tried to eat me yet.
Danny's right.
Connor also pitches in, which doesn't sit well with Abby.
You've always hated him, haven't you? You'd be happy if he was dead.
Abby, where did that come from?
Wow, where did that come from?
I get that you're worried about your brother, but don't take your aggression out on Connor.
A bit harsh.
Connor hasn't really shown any disliking towards Jack at all, so I don't know where this outburst came from. After this, Abby storms off, followed by Downey and Becca, leaving Connor behind, befuddled and somewhat insulted. Another predator emerges and walks incorrectly on its palms rather than its knuckles. Then instead of using its super speed, it just walks over to attack. It's also animated so differently, looking very uncomfortable as it walks, compared to the more elegant movements of Series 1 and 2. If we didn't know this was done by Framestore, then I'd think a different team animated this. Abby somehow manages to slow Danny's heartbeat, which has no effect at all, as the predator goes in for the kill anyway, until... Connor bravely makes himself the target here, clearly since he feels responsible for keeping Abby safe, and proving that he doesn't hate Jack. He also knows it's the right thing to do. This also parallels when Abby saved Connor in a similar way way back in Series 1 Episode 6. Suddenly the Predator remembers it has super speed and is lured towards Connor, who utilizes a surprise Becca takedown.
Next time, don't leave it so long.
Note there is a budget-saving trick here, as when the Predator gets shot and dies, it's completely off screen, but Becca's movements and the sounds trick you into thinking you saw it. Uncharacteristically, Abby doesn't seem to care about Connor's well-being and runs the wrong way. The Lotus is just to the right of the screen.
Jack wakes up in the dark and does the worst thing imaginable. He calls out for help, as well as pounding the wall. This attracts the attention of the third future species this episode, the future maggot. The maggot obviously sees Jack as a threat and squirts some kind of fluid at him, somewhat reminiscent of the Dilophosaurus spitting venom at Nedry in Jurassic Park. This is the same shot repeated. Wait, is that film roll just stuck to the fence there? I think it's some kind of sculpture, but it really does look like film roll.
Modern architecture. It'll never last.
I didn't ask for your help.
Well, you've got it.
Don't be so ungrateful, Abby. She's so stubborn this whole episode. Abby really puts Jack before anyone else here, even running off and not even checking to see if Connor and Becca are alright from earlier.
He's the only family I've got.
Define family.
Proper good time.
I will not give up on him, I promise.
Are you talking about Jack or Patrick, Danny? It's nice that he sticks by Abby here, though. Another maggot lands on Jack, and it's unclear whether this was intentional or not. Fortunately, Jack pushes it off of him, and we see the same repeated shot for a third time. Abby and Danny finally arrive at the Lotus. This building and location is the same place as Leek's creature prison from Series 2, and it's likely the same place in-universe, which means that the future arc, which is probably the same arc as Series 4 and 5, is right next door, which would make sense for creature transportation. Maybe the second arc's menagerie leads directly into the creature prison.
Help! Help!
Why do you yell in lowercase? Jack's feeble cries let the team know that he is alive and well. Yay?
Jack! Abby, you gotta get me out of it.
Does Jack even realise he's in the future? Danny elects himself to go down the shaft and rescue Mr. Maitland.
If I had a nickel for every time a character went in a tall shaft to escape worm-like creatures.
Interesting that Abby lets Danny go instead of insisting she goes first again.
It stinks of paraffin.
Paraffin is generally odourless, so I don't know what you're sniffing there, Danny. Whatever it is, it's unclear why there's so much down this shaft. Maybe only so it could be a plot point later.
Who cares what it smells like?
Can you see that leg?
Can't walk on that.
Duh!
Jack somehow managed to hurt both his leg and his arm whilst also hurting his ribs in the fall, making him a serious liability.
Connor! We're gonna need a rope.
We need rope.
This is gonna hurt. But I suggest, if you want to live, then you keep quiet, alright?
This line is very similar to what Nick Cutter said to Dina back in Series 2, Episode 6.
Look at me. This is gonna hurt a little. But please try and be quiet.
Outside, the Predators suddenly arrive en masse, climbing down the buildings towards the team in quite an ominous shot, making Becca falter. Note, this shot was previously used in Helen's brief flashback in Episode 3, albeit edited without the buildings.
Whatever happens, just get them out of here.
Becca removes the silencer on his gun so it will be louder to draw as many predators away. He is willing to sacrifice himself in order to protect the team. However, he takes both guns, leaving the team kinda defenseless, though that was more Abby's fault for heading out before they could get backup or arms. A Megopteran appears below, to which Danny makes a hasty retreat, leaving Jack still in the shaft, which is quite funny. In fairness to Danny, once he gets out, he helps hoist Jack and rescue him too. Not that Jack is helping himself at all.
What is it? Trust me, we don't want to know.
Notice how Danny avoids describing the creature here. This may be an example of the aforementioned wiggle room this episode was written with to accommodate the creature before the winning design was chosen. Wait, they had a flare this whole time? Danny uses it to ignite the paraffin in the shaft and stop the Megopteran from reaching them. Due to the slow motion, Danny spends a whopping 9 seconds in the air. Some say that he's still flying to this day. Bombs are Danny's style, I guess. So much for keeping quiet.
Everyone piles into a nearby derelict bus and running straight past the Lotus. Why don't they just drive back to the anomaly? Maybe it needed a car jack?
Be quiet, especially you.
I love how angry Danny is at Jack, physically grabbing and shoving him into the bus. Meanwhile, back in the present, Hold on, where did Sarah get the toast from? Maybe she really is a witch and conjured it.
Are you a witch?
Genius, Sarah.
I mean, it's really Connor's genius. Back in the future, the team lament on their loss of Becca.
He's the man who just took on a pack of killers to save your skin.
So?
A thank you wouldn't go amiss.
I'm in agony. If you told me the truth, I wouldn't even be here.
Just in case you didn't realise, the episode emphasised how annoying Jack is here.
Keep that kid away from me.
Love how Danny physically leans to the side to avoid touching Jack, like he's got germs on him.
Can we go home?
That might be the tricky part.
It's like 30 paces away, you can do it. There's movement atop of the bus, similar to the Predator on top of the Hilux in Series 1 Episode 6. Danny somehow manages to skewer the Predator here. How did he have so much strength and momentum? If they're that easy to kill, what were the cutters worried about?
It's the end of the human race you're looking at.
I've seen them. In the future, troops from the Ark.
Seemingly having dispatched with Becca, the Predator group all comes back and close in on the bus, likely using their echolocation to detect the prey inside. There is a promo image showing predators inside the bus, so not sure if this was a deleted scene or just for the promo.
We try and make a run for it, and they tear us to bits. We hold out here as long as we can, and they tear us to bits.
I'm in danger!
So that's it? Just giving up now?
It's the fire. It's smoking them out.
The flare drives the Megaopterons out of their home to the surface. Bugs don't like smoke, regardless of size. Two super predators can't occupy the same space, and naturally must fight.
Let them fight.
We got a chance, but we gotta go now.
In this deadly game of bug and bat, the team seize their chance and make their escape. The same clip of the predators outside the bus is reused. The future foes battle it out really savagely, which is a welcome change for the predators. I guess they're just not very good neighbours. Note in this random shot of a car, you can see somebody smashing the glass with a hammer. Don't know what this was meant to represent. If you look closely, you can see Jack has his phone out and is filming the calamity. Presumably this footage was deleted after they got back.
Whatever it is, it's classified until I find out what the hell to do about it.
Danny for some reason stays behind here and spots Captain Wilder and a mystery woman who he's escorting, also evading the conflict. Note the camera specifically focuses on the woman, who may be familiar to those who've played Primeval Evolved. The shot of a baby predator smashing the car window from earlier gets reused here. As the team run to the anomaly, a large Megaopteron, possibly the Queen, emerges and seemingly flies after the team. Unfortunately, the scene then cuts away and we never see it again. This could be possibly a deleted scene or just poor editing. The team arrive at the anomaly, now locked by Sarah. Note that it appears to be snowing and or raining, though it could just be debris from the explosion earlier. This leapfrogging predator must be playing The Floor is Lava as it hops between the conveniently parked cars. It's moving incredibly slow compared to normal. Becca was in the car the whole time? How long was he waiting here for the perfect moment to strike? That was some luck. I guess his earlier exit could have been interpreted as a fake-out death, though he was obviously still alive. He may have been hiding in here though, which made the predators go back to the bus earlier, but how did he see the predator he shot? The windscreen looks too dirty to see out of. The same scene of Sarah eating toast is seen again. So much footage reuse in this episode. Suddenly the second baby Megaopteron from earlier decides it wants some of that sweet jam and lands on the control panel, making it close. Sarah gets the heebie-jeebies and can't handle a baby, so retreats into the side room. By the way, when's the Special Forces backup supposed to arrive? Eventually Sarah finally musters up the courage to do something the rest of the team would have done ages ago, swatting it with a rolled up newspaper. Fortunately for Sarah's sake, she boxes up the irritated insect, and the danger is averted.
Shut up, Meg.
She also just smashes random keys on the laptop that makes the anomaly open.
The team fly back through to the present in dramatic slow motion. No, Connor knocks Abby to the ground here. Also that you don't actually see Becca come back through in this shot. Yet in the next, he's lying in front of the anomaly and aiming his gun at it. Sarah also throws the box of Megopteron back through. Can the baby even get out of that box? Did Sarah just condemn it to death? Whoa, those adult Megopteron are really tucking into that predator. At least they're distracted and don't try and come through the anomaly this time.
Lock it now!
With the anomaly locked, the team are all safe. Once again.
Does that hurt?
By the looks of things, it definitely did. The music that plays here is the same track from when the team come back from the Mer future in Series 2, Episode 4, linking them both together since they both come back from the future.
Abby, what just happened?
Abby is reunited with Jack, so did she ever get her anomaly detector back?
If I told you, Becca would have to kill you, and he's already looking for an excuse.
The fact everyone on the team has murderous tendencies towards Jack here is quite funny.
Maybe one day, just not now.
Presumably sometime in the future, Jack was informed about the anomalies and or debriefed by someone at the Ark. Or maybe not, it's kind of unclear.
I think it's time I moved out.
And there was much rejoicing.
Jack's off. He just couldn't handle Abby, and it's safe to say that he did not have a
proper good time
this episode. Either way, he and Abby probably took a shower to wash all that selenium off.
Abby, there's no hot water.
There's something I need to tell you about Connor.
No, Becca is just eavesdropping here. Quit staring at the Maitlands like that. He does seem to be treated for some unknown shoulder injury. Perhaps something happened between him and the Predators earlier. After this scene, Jack never appears ever again, making his involvement in the show very minimal. Following a private talk with Jack, Abby's jacket just disappears and her singlet is loose. You can't make this up.
Why are you staring at me?
Connor, you should welcome the attention from Abby after how she disregarded you earlier.
Jack told me what you did.
Why did that sound so sinister?
He told me about gambling Rex and you getting him back.
Jack told Abby about Connor getting Rex back behind her back, which, when you say it like that, doesn't sound very good. Though Connor likely didn't want to worry Abby about the Rex napping after the Caroline incident. You can see relief wash over Connor here now he knows he hasn't done anything wrong.
You could have made Jack look really bad, but you didn't.
He was doing that by himself anyway.
Even after I said all those horrible and unfair things about you hating him, he still kept quiet. He did all that for me.
This sounds like an interrogation. Why is Abby so mean this episode? Connor starts to stutter, not knowing what to say. Fortunately, Abby has the perfect words.
I want to say
Connor.
Nothing says romance like telling someone to shut up. This is all the proof the pair need for a romantic interlude, leading to Connor and Abby's very first kiss. Think of all the selenium on their lips. Their relationship is done expertly well for a drama show. It's never rushed and has time to grow and develop through the course of the first two series, and even though it was mostly forgotten in Series 3 except in Episode 2, now feels like an appropriate time to build the relationship. This gradual build-up of their chemistry makes this first kiss even more impactful, and solidifies their love for each other. After waiting for this moment ever since Series 2 Episode 4, it's really nice to get this. Especially now that Abby's single again. The song I Only Have Eyes for You by the Flamingos plays in the broadcast version, and Stick Around by Tony Allen plays in the DVD version. Danny is on the phone to who appears to be Lester before seeing the canoodling as well. Abby then leaves as abruptly as she arrived, leaving Connor hanging. He also pulls a very goofy smile as his and Abby's relationship is solidified.
It's definitely Captain Wilder.
Danny informs Lester about his sighting, presumably also telling him about the future anomaly, seeing how Lester wasn't present in the earlier scene. The ramifications of this aren't really talked about, especially since this anomaly remains open, and considering what the team discussed way back in Series 1 Episode 6.
And afterwards we keep a permanent guard at the future anomaly?
The threat's too serious to be ignored.
Serious enough to warrant a permanent intrusion into the past?
With the correct restrictions, yes.
Well, I think we can be fairly confident Christine Johnson's involved.
Wonder what Wilder was doing in the future before he found the woman.
There was an anomaly alert a few months ago at her headquarters.
Lester references the scene from Episode 4 before Danny was on the team, raising suspicion about Christine Johnson. Again.
You think she's got access to an anomaly?
And some sort of cloaking device, which is why we're not picking it up.
So, how does that work? As we know, Christine Johnson has her own anomaly in her HQ, which is undetected by the Ark and the ADD. But how? What makes it impervious to the detectors? This is never explained in the show. Note that the room her anomaly is in has chains hanging down the wall, which may be part of the reason why it can't be detected. Why those chains aren't being attracted to the anomaly's selective magnetism is another question. Some anomalies are unable to be detected, like the stadium anomaly in Series 1 Episode 4, because the doors are too thick, which the chains here might be in place of. But then the cloaking device can be switched off too, which invalidates the chain theory. Christine just has this technology at her disposal, which is never explained, of course. Series 3?
What is she up to?
I don't know, but I'll find out.
Danny mentions that he'll find out what Christine is doing, which we'll see in the next episode, despite Lester's refusal. The mystery woman captured from the future lies unconscious in a holding cell within Johnson's HQ as Christine and Wilder watch her. Whilst only named in the credits and called the mystery woman on screen, this is Eve from Primeval Evolved, who has been giving you instructions and gathering intel for her. Because of her lack of affiliations with either Christine Johnson or the ARC team, the player and/or viewer doesn't know if she's a protagonist or an antagonist. Yet. Kind of suspicious that she would appear just before the eve of the finale.
She had this.
Christine opens a diary which has the number 333 written through it. Keep that in mind for the next 2 episodes. Nothing else is legible in this diary, however. Christine also briefly takes hold of a mysterious piece of technology with a glass screen. More on that later.
Want to know the minute she wakes up?
As it happens, Eve is already awake, and the way she was listening to Christine and Wilder discuss her, one could say that she was eavesdropping. Earlier, Wilder mentioned giving her something to make her sleep. Did the drugs they gave her just not work? Or maybe she pretended to take them. Eve is seen holding some sort of pendant, and then does a dramatic look straight into the camera, which is a rare fourth wall break for the show. This could be interpreted as her looking at you, the player.
In closing, episode 8 takes place over 2 days, and it's at least a day between this and the next episode. Join us next time for the breakdown of episode 9 of Primeval Series 3, but stay to the end of the credits for Alfred's breakdown of Primeval Evolved Week 8.
Week 8 of Primeval Evolved was released 2 days after episode 8, with the clue word being predator. Danny talked to you about the future and how it takes a certain type of person to live through that. The interaction items are the sketchbook, which has a profile on the Megopteran. Temple TV. Connor asks for romantic advice after a girl kissed him and it blew his mind.
But what is in a kiss? I mean, what's the romantic protocol now? What do I call her and ask her out for a romantic candlelit dinner, or do I just pretend like nothing's happened? I don't know what to do!
This week's game is Laser Lines. Eve has been captured and needs you to finish her final experiments, a laser simulation. Using a series of mirrors, you direct the laser to hit a spinning prism. Unfortunately, that's all we have for this week's Primeval Evolved. We'll be back next week for more information. Alfred, signing off.